On March 24, Days of Our Lives forces Sarah Horton to stop running from Xander. It has been a season of fractured memories, shattered glass ceilings, and near misses in Salem. But on March 24, the intricate clockwork of romance, revenge, and redemption finally clicks into a single, terrifying moment for Dr. Sarah Horton. Spoilers for this week's episodes reveal that the day of reckoning has arrived, not in a courtroom, and not in a hospital trauma bay, but in the quiet, volatile space between two people who have spent years pretending they don't belong to one another. For months, Sarah, Lindsay Godfrey, has existed in a state of emotional whiplash. After the devastating chaos involving her daughter, Victoria, and the tangled web woven by Fiona, Sarah found herself tethered to Xander, Paul Telfer, by circumstances that went far beyond co-parenting. Yet, she has fought that tether with every fiber of her being. She has buried her vulnerability under a white coat of professionalism and wrapped herself in the safe, stable arms of Rex Brady. But stability, as Salem residents know all too well, is rarely the foundation of true passion. According to insider spoilers, the episode will feature a raw, unfiltered confrontation between Sarah and Xander. This is not the bickering of adversaries or the awkward small talk of exes. This is the moment Sarah is forced to stop performing for the town and start telling the truth. The scene reportedly takes place at the Horton Town Square, a location that serves as the neutral battleground for Salem's greatest emotional wars. After a week of tension involving Xander's ongoing struggles with his own identity, torn between the ruthless Kuryaki's heir he was raised to be and the devoted family man he desperately wants to become, Sarah witnesses a moment of profound vulnerability. Sources close to the production hint that Xander will find himself in a crisis involving the security of his daughter. Whether it's a legal threat from the Kuryaki's empire or a lingering shadow from his past with the drug cartel, Xander's world is once again threatening to implode. Sarah, ever the healer, rushes to intervene, not because she pities him, but because she can't physically stop herself. When Xander dismisses her help with his characteristic sarcasm, "I don't need a doctor to tell me my life is a disaster," Sarah doesn't retreat. Instead, she explodes. This is where the writing takes a sharp turn from typical soap opera melodrama into something more psychologically acute. Sarah's conflict is not about whether Xander is a good man. It is about whether she is allowed to love a man who has a complicated moral compass. Since her return to Salem, Sarah has clung to the idea of the good guy. Rex is safe. Rex is predictable. Rex doesn't have a trail of enemies or a family legacy built on manipulation. But as Sarah confesses her feelings, she articulates a fear that many viewers will recognize: the terror of choosing the harder path. She's terrified that loving Xander means admitting that she isn't the perfect, uncomplicated heroine she's tried so hard to be, a show insider tease. She's spent her life saving people. Xander makes her feel like she needs saving, and that scares her more than any villain ever could. The dialogue in the March 24 episode is said to be electric. Sarah will confront the elephant in the room, the history. She will bring up the kidnapping, the lies, the scheming. But she will also bring up the way he looks at their daughter, the way he stood by her during the darkest days of her captivity, and the undeniable fact that when she looks at him, she feels seen, something Rex, for all his virtues, has never truly managed. For Xander, this confrontation is a mirror. He has spent the better part of the year trying to earn a place in Sarah's life through acts of service and protection. But he has been too afraid to demand more, believing deep down that he doesn't deserve her. When Sarah finally admits that her feelings are more than just residual affection for the father of her child, Xander is faced with his own worst enemy, himself. Will he accept her love, or will he push her away to protect her from the chaos of his life? Paul Telfer's portrayal of Xander has always excelled in these moments of contradiction, the brute force masking a broken heart. Spoilers suggest that Xander will be caught off guard. He expects Sarah to yell at him. He expects her to list his sins. What he does not expect is for her to reach out and touch his face, acknowledging that she sees the man beneath the monster. Of course, no love story in Salem is complete without a third party standing in the wings. Rex Brady, Kyle Loader, has been suspicious of Sarah's emotional availability for weeks. March 24 will likely set the stage for Rex to sense that he is losing her. While Sarah is confronting Xander, Rex may be having his own realization that he has been competing with a ghost, or a very large, very Scottish Kuriakis, since the moment he returned. Is Rex a villain in this scenario? Hardly, but he represents the life Sarah thinks she should want. The drama lies in Sarah finally admitting that what she should want and what she actually needs are two very different things. This confrontation is not just a sweeps month gimmick, it is the pivot point for several major storylines heading into the spring. First, it solidifies Zara, as fans have dubbed them, as the central romance of the season. With Days of Our Lives celebrating its legacy, pairing a Horton heroine with a reformed Kuriakis bad boy is a classic move that echoes the greatest couples in soap history, from Beau and Hope to John and Marlena. It's the ultimate opposites attract narrative, but with the added weight of a child tying them together. Second, it threatens to destabilize the Kuriakis family dynamic. If Xander commits to Sarah fully, he may finally break free from the shadow of his mother, Fiona, and the manipulations of his cousin, Philip. A united Xander and Sarah is a powerful force, one that could challenge Maggie's loyalties and shift the balance of power in the Kuriakis mansion. Finally, it opens the door for potential tragedy. In Salem, happiness is rarely permanent. By admitting her feelings, Sarah has just given fate, and the writers, a target. Will a jealous Rex lash out? Will a new enemy emerge to tear them apart now that they've finally found each other? The Days of Our Lives episode airing on March 24th is shaping up to be a masterclass in emotional payoff. For fans who have watched Sarah run from her feelings for Xander through amnesia, through anger, and through denial, this moment is the catharsis they've been waiting for. It's a reminder that in Salem, love isn't about finding the person with the fewest flaws. It's about finding the person whose flaws you're willing to accept, and who is willing to accept yours in return. As Sarah Horton stops running and Xander Kuriakis finally stops fighting his better nature, viewers will witness the birth of a power couple forged not in convenience, but in the fire of absolute truth.